Next item is the commission budget letter. So the purpose is to finalize the commission's annual budget letter going to council. The action is to vote to approve the budget letter to go to city council. Some context here for folks who have or haven't been engaged for various degrees. We've had an April meeting about this following the auditor's comments. And we had a special meeting last week. This is the third meeting where we're discussing the budget. What I did is, you'll see in your packet there's a letter that the group sanctioned last week. I talked with a couple folks within the Brown Act. I talked with a couple folks and got their feedback, and also made some syntactical upgrades to the document. So I'd like to propose is that we look at the document that includes some non-substantive improvements and then one substantive change, and that will be on the screen. Is that okay with everyone? I think the non-substantive improvements are significantly better, and the substantive improvement we all need to decide if we like. So if we look...
Which version?
I'm sorry?
Marked up or clean? Which one are you looking?
Okay. It'll be hard to read, but I feel like that. Actually, yeah, I'll sort of read you guys the changes that I made. So in section 1, what's different from what we talked about last week is under code enforcement, saying the commission recommends the city dedicate more resources to code enforcement as a preamble instead of just having bullets there. Under public safety, adding the phrase, because residents express concerns about response time, the commission recommends the following 3 areas for investment. That's added. Under community engagement, the sentence, expand associations and leverage Project Hope learnings has been added. Overall, a non-substantive change that I added was I changed the word suggest to recommend throughout the document, and see what folks think of that. Under paragraph 2 at the bottom of the page, formally it said, lagging behind these groundbreaking developments, and the update I made is, in spite of these groundbreaking developments. In the document you're looking at, it says, the commission is happy to partner in addressing the undertow caused by years of underinvestment, and I wrote, caused by a decade of underinvestment, so that it's clear to anyone who doesn't know that the Great Recession was the event that happened in 2008, not the Great Depression, which happened longer than that ago. Under code enforcement, I think a substantive change here is on the screen. Oops.
Sorry.
Scroll up just a little bit.
Back up.
Okay, and I'll read the change. So under code enforcement, so some areas are it's like a trash can be in one person's front yard, and it won't be governed by the city code, and trash can be in the street, and it is governed by a city code. So to account for that, so that it's clear that we don't know what we don't know, I wrote, the commission does not pretend to be expert in the intricacies of the city code, nor in the confusing and frustrating intersection of public, private, county, and state accountabilities to resolve blight. Where the city is accountable for blight, it must continue to act, and quickly. Where the city is not accountable, the commission recommends continuing to seek common ground and to leverage non-city resources. This has recently been done with Caltrans cleanup on highways and an ongoing discussion with railroad right-of-ways. The commission recommends continued investment in the My San Jose app, etc. So that is the substantive change made in that paragraph. Actually, sorry, there's a second substantive change. I believe we would like to see, and the commission can vote on this, the city auditor provides some data on illegal dumping and vehicle abatement. But we're writing this letter to the city council, and they can't direct the auditor to do things, as far as I know. So I wrote, separately, the commission will discuss requesting the city auditor to include key performance indicators for illegal dumping and vehicle abatement in the city's audit report. Whether we do that or not, we can decide in the next meetings. We can take that out as well. Public safety is the same as what you have on the page. Community engagement, non-substantive change. In the last sentence, Dozens of neighborhood groups are actively engaged instead of leading the charge. And in a city of over 1 million, the people involved represent only a tiny fraction of the numbers of people who could potentially be involved. That's non-substantive, I think. Those are the substantive and non-substantive changes that I made since we talked, based on a couple people's feedback and based on some editing that I did. So, given that if we want to have the council review this as part of their study week, we need to approve this tonight, get it to Sabrina tonight, give Sabrina time to write a memo that summarizes it so that something gets read of this long document. And ideally, I think they can have it in their hands in their process as early as Friday, something like that. Okay. And if we don't approve it tonight, then all bets are off, and we can pretty much say that no one's going to read it. So would people like to go around the Commissioner Wilkins?
Wilkins District 2. I just suggest we've gone over this over and over and over. I think it is what it is. We don't wordsmith it. I'm proposing we accept it as is with no changes.
Except, just to be clear, except what? The modification on this training?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Carter?
I would second that. I think we discussed this thoroughly during our last meeting. I thought you did a good job of making the suggested changes. I'd like to second Mr. Wilkins, Commissioner Wilkins' proposal.
So a couple folks weren't, I think procedurally there's some, thank you. Procedurally there's some discussion of the motion. Did we want to have, anyone else have any other feedback? Commissioner Wilkins, Commissioner Martin, excuse me.
I'm one of those. So at the last meeting, what I felt happened, At the last meeting, my concern was that all of a sudden, bringing up Station 37 and all of that stuff seemed inappropriate to this document. This document's more generic and general in terms, and so all of a sudden it became neighborhood specific by saying a very certain station, or the north station or the south station, and it started growing out of that. So I would friendly amendment ask that that part be taken out, at least in reference to exact specific stations.
Okay, just to rephrase, to be clear what we're saying. So in the line 5, basically, so it's referenced once on the first page, and it says bring online Fire Station 37 and substations in north and south of San Jose. And you're proposing as a friendly amendment that sentence be removed.
Correct. And then underneath public safety, it's expanded again, outlined as 37. It says bring additional fire stations and police stations online. I think that's just fine. I just want to keep it non-specific. That's my comment on it.
Okay. Let's come back to you. I want to let other people comment. Is there someone?
Only to clarify what he said, so under the public safety discussion, would we say bring additional fire stations online in North and South San Jose, or
Yeah.
just take out, no, that's what I'm getting clarification on. So it would read, bring additional fire stations and police stations online, including substations in North and South San Jose, or not, that's what.
So are you saying remove, so in the section titled public safety, are you saying remove the second bullet as well?
My only concern was that we said Station 37, which, I thought that was very, very specific to a very, individual place, and I don't think that's appropriate.
Okay.
So that's the only one I would strike. The rest of it, north-south, that can stay because it's non-descriptive.
Right.
Okay, then just also to go back and clarify, so for the executive summary, so it would be something like bring online additional fire stations and police substations?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're not excluding the idea that we want those, we're just not
Right.
saying, put one right here.
And they're
Yeah.
both in sync.
Okay. Then they're both in sync. Okay. Commissioner Lebowski?
Yeah, I like specificity. Is there any particular reason why being specific like this, because these are the probably, I think these have been identified as current present. There's a 37 some cost of being approved or not approved. Being generic sometimes is okay. I like specificity, so I'm not going to argue, and vote against it. But either way it goes, it'd be fine with me. I'd only list it once, but I'd be specific. I like the specificity. I think that guides city council with prescription, and they need some of that. So this is a mild contrary opinion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone who hasn't spoken already who'd like to speak? First round of comments, Commissioner Moore. And then Commissioner Conlon.
Navarro, District 6. So I also agree we need to be specific, and not only that, as a city, everybody's going to benefit from that location. We've had previous meetings here where we have a fire station that gets the same amount of calls as a smaller city, neighboring city. So if we were to have a station there, it would alleviate the other surrounding stations from the emergency calls. So it wouldn't just benefit the people that are directly across the street or in that neighborhood. It would literally benefit the whole city of San Jose and all the residents.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Fleming.
Thank you. So I wasn't at the last meeting, and I'd just like to ask a question to the body here. Why was Fire Station 37 specifically mentioned in this document?
Commissioner Carter, would you like to answer that?
Yes, I was the one who specifically mentioned it, and because it's a station that's been proposed, and it's in the budget, and there's been money apportioned to it, allocated for Station 37 specifically. So, to Commissioner Navarro's point, it does benefit the entire city. It benefits District 9, District 10, District 3, and District 6, which is where Station 37 is. So not only so that one's named specifically because it is proposed. It's a number that's proposed and a location that's proposed.
Please, yes, thank you.
And was it just proposed, or was it also approved?
Approved.
It was approved, and that was, what, maybe 9 years ago?
2002.
2002. So under that rationale, I would say we keep Fire Station 37 in this letter. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Fleming. Commissioner Hinman, who was first? Commissioner Hinman, then Commissioner Hinman.
I've toured a lot of the fire stations. Do we have any idea how many fire stations are yet to be completed? I know Fire Station 25 is one of the newer ones, but it's not yet a completed building.
I don't know that we have a facility to answer that, but we can try to find out in another form.
I figured maybe.
Oh, yeah, well, can we hold off?
Sure.
Okay, Commissioner Young.
Yeah, actually, I just have a clarification question because
Microphone.
Sorry. Maybe Commissioner Martin, I'm not exactly sure. Is your amendment to just eliminate the wording Fire Station 37 or also and police substations in North and South San Jose?
The amendment is just in relationship to 37 because we got into a whole conversation 25, and just started going through this. And if we listed all of them, it started to become, like it is right now, where we're all going around and talking about it.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Hart, so hold, before you go, I want to give other people a chance. I know you have specific expertise in this. Any other comments at this point to include everyone and make sure everyone has a chance? Okay, Commissioner Carter.
I just wanted to say that it might be good to add that Station 37 will benefit all neighborhoods. To further clarify that it's not just specific to District 6. So that might help you out a little bit.
Yeah. I'm fine either way. It's just...
I get your point. Okay, any other comments? All right, then the motion, as I understand it, is...
Order.
Yes, sir.
Wilkins has to accept the friendly amendment.
Oh, thank you very much, Jonathan. Commissioner Wilkins, there's a friendly amendment, and it is that we remove specific reference to Fire Station 37. And since it's your motion...
I'll go ahead and accept that.
So removing reference to 37?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And from point of, for people who want 30, okay. Okay, good, I know, thank you. So then the motion is that we approve the letter as revised, as on the screen, as I've, sorry, what's the protocol? I mean, if you have, I don't want to go off.
A substitute motion.
Okay. Who can step me through the Robert's Rules of Order on substitute motion?
So unless, yeah, Mayor,
Thank
thank you. Yeah, sorry for talking.
No, I appreciate it, thank you. I want to make sure we,
Yeah.
I want to make sure we get this documented correctly.
So we can actually just go on with the vote for this motion unless somebody feels they have to speak up and add a substitute motion to include Fire Station 37. If nobody speaks up, we just go with Vulcan's amended motion.
Okay, so if someone has a substitute motion, then they raise their paddle and they say, Commissioner Navarro.
I'd like to make a substitute motion, please.
What would it be? What would it be?
I'd like to propose that we accept the budget letter as is with Fire Station 37, as it will benefit all of San Jose. And if we're specific with council, then we'll probably get some more traction on it instead of being so broad.
All right, so then so then who accepts the substitute
Someone
motion?
would have to
Commissioner
second.
Fleming. Thank you for your guidance. I know you're a fan. So then the substitute motion would have to be,
Seconded, I'll second.
so Commissioner Fleming seconds the substitute motion. Commissioner
Can I
Navarro.
comment? Just to be clear, in this particular area where, we're proposing it, it would make a significant impact to the community, and we discussed various reasons why, in the past, why this would be a great thing to be added in our city. It's been danced around through council for quite some time now,
That's okay.
and, well, I just want to make sure because
The case is clear.
it'll benefit a lot of money.
I understand. The case is clear, I don't think, okay. So substitute motion, then who, you made so then we vote on both? So we vote on the first?
Vote on the
Mayor?
Please.
Yeah. So you'd vote on the second motion first, and then if that fails, you'd move to the underlying motion, the original.
Okay, good. We're going to do that now. All right, so the substitute motion is on the table for us to vote on. And the substitute motion is, we accept this letter as it's written. I would add, if I may, just with any non-substantive changes to correct typos, syntax, that Sabrina and I are not stuck with something that is incorrect. So as is, with the ability to update syntactical changes, including Fire Station 37 and specific reference to fire and police stations in both sections of the letter. That is it? Okay, good. So all in favor? Commissioner Lebowski, Commissioner Velasquez, Commissioner Navarro, Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Fleming, Commissioner Dreas, Henman, Cunningham, Young, Colstead, Nguyen, Wilkins. Any abstentions? Any nays? Voting not in favor are Commissioner Giamona and Commissioner Martin. The vote passes, and we have an approved budget letter. The next step will be for me to clean this up, get it to Sabrina, and Sabrina will get it to play for review by the city council. Thank you.